Hey there, I'm here to review a Criterion today, and one that I promised to review, and that is number 643, so that's Spine 643 in the Criterion collection. And in case you're not familiar with what 643 is, it is this brilliant Blu-ray here called The Man Who Knew Too Much. It's Alfred Hitchcock's 1934 film, the original, not the remake, of course, starring Peter Lorre, who at this point was just after doing M with Fritz Lang, and that'll be one of the major reasons why I chose for this role, which we'll get into in a little bit. The has a pretty good booklet on the inside. Love the art, and basically, you have a couple played by. Let's get it out again, because I did this review before and I messed up. Leslie Banks, I think, and Edna Best, yeah, and they're the couple. The Hitchcock is very progressive in his role, especially for females. Jill Lawrence, played by Edna Best, is a marksman, and they're up there in a competition she has against a rival, and something happens and she comes in second place. We see it first starting off with like the skiing competition. It's kind of an Olympics thing going on, and basically they meet a friend up there who is dancing with his wife at the time, and when he gets shot and dies, and as he dies, he gives information to her character, and she goes to the husband, and he gets it out of well, basically the MacGuffin. He gets it out of the brush, and finds out that somebody's supposed to meet somebody named Hall. But before he has a chance to go to the authorities, which he starts to do, they find out that their young daughter has disappeared, and that the bad guys have her. So they go back home because basically they have to keep going on to their day to hear more. Yeah, I'll be freaking out, but they, in typical like English fashion, they manage to just keep a stiff upper lip and wait for information from the not from the authorities. The authorities come to them. They know something's going on, but they pretty much beg off the authorities, and they say, no, it's okay, nothing happened. The authorities kind of know that the bad guys got their daughter, but they can't push them to do anything. So their uncle, the uncle of the girl, shows up, and the husband and the uncle go out to get some information, and they go out to kind of like find out where the girl's at, and it leads into like Hitchcock's kind of like dark humor, a character that we played well by different characters. I think of Ewan Cronin in the movie Shadow of Doubt, when I think of like the best of the humorous characters that comes through Hitchcock's films. And the best wit shown in this movie is actually shown by Peter Lorre, who is the mysterious bad guy. And of course, we know right away there's something wrong with Peter Lorre's character, because basically, guys, he's Peter Lorre, and this is what he does. You got to remember that choosing Peter Lorre as the kidnapper of the kid was an ingenious move by Hitchcock, because at this point, American audiences pretty much knew Peter Lorre as the child killer in the movie M. So that alone, having him there, just gave a sense of urgency just by casting him in the role, which is pretty damn brilliant. The film is amazing, and I'm watching it with my better half, and we get to the part with the attempted assassination, and it's going back and forth, and the music is coming up. This is at Albert Hall, at Royal Albert Hall, and we see shots from the girl to the attended victim to the hopeful assassin, and it kind of goes back and forth, and we're watching it, and it's like it's building and building, and my better half looks at me and says, "This is why Hitchcock is a master," and it is. He just had it so pitch perfect right from the start. You got to remember, this is not Hitchcock after a bunch of like suspense films and stuff. This is not Hitchcock 1950s or Hitchcock in the 60s. This is Hitchcock in 1934 when he was still in England doing stuff there. And this is incredible when you think just how early in his career this movie is. And this movie is a perfect suspense film. It has, the humor is just right. There's nothing about this film. I mean, like, it's more stagey than a modern day film would be, because basically a lot of films still back in late 20s, early 30s were basically filmed like a lot of times like stage plays and stuff like that. And you get a little bit of the feel here, but there's just such a scope to this film. I mean, it goes from Sweden to Switzerland to England, and we have some like interestingly staged fights. One with chairs, lots and lots of chairs. It's almost a wrestling match, and cover. And this is brilliant. And I got to say, Peter Lorre steals the show for me in a lot of cases. Peter Lorre is like just his like wit and his like his style of humor and his laid backness. There's at the end of the film, there's a big shootout. There's a huge shootout between the bad guys and everybody else in London, apparently, most of the police officers, and it is epically done. It is incredible, the shooting, and it's not like you'd see today where it would just be kind of a throw-off type thing. We see the characters, we're introduced to some of the officers and like slight scenes where we kind of get like a little characterization aspect, and we watch characters die, and you feel for them even though you've met them like just a few seconds before. There's a cop that dies in the film. He's shot, and it's a brilliantly done scene. I mean, I had like, oh no, kind of a pang right after he died, because his character is just summed up in the few sentences that he says, and his kind of rapport with the other officer with him, and something he says is kind of prophetic in a way. This is an amazing film. I cannot stress how impressed I was with this. I can't believe it took me so long to watch this one again. I haven't seen this since VHS days, and I really hadn't remembered it as well. And I don't think I could have appreciated it then the way I do now. If you don't have this one in your collection, I got to give this the strongest recommendation that I can. This is a definite, on a scale of 10, this is a 10 out of 10. And not only does it have is this a great classic Hitchcock film, but I gotta say it, there's a commentary on here as well. I haven't listened to the commentary yet. I did listen, there's a interview with Del Toro, which is pretty cool. Illustrated Hitchcock, basically interview with the director done back in '72. Audio excerpt from, of course, his famous Truffaut interview done back in '62, and incredible booklet. And there was some great stuff in this. The music, this was cast perfectly. If the only negative is that this makes the remake of the film, the flaws in it become more glaring by just seeing how perfect of a film it was in the beginning. It did not need to be remade. This movie runs 75 minutes. That snap through very fast. It's a very tightly paced film. Extremely well done. You couldn't ask for a better cast than you got in this one here. The little girl in it's a small, it's a small role, but it's an important role, but it's a small role compared to some of the other characters. But she does a great job. And the parents seem a little callous, of course, at first. You're like, really? Are they really saying that to the kid? But you get a true, it just rings true. Everything in this movie rings true. It had this is one of my top criterions. It's like, I want all the Hitchcock criterions that come out. Foreign Correspondence coming out next year. That would definitely, without a doubt, it's going to be on my list of criterions to get in the July sale. Just saying now, the July sale comes up, mid next year. If you don't have the Hitchcocks, The Man Who Knew Too Much, 39 Steps, I'm telling you now, get them both. I'm going to review in 39 Steps here fairly soon as well. But Man Who Knew Too Much, 1934. This is the first real Hitchcock film that really gets it all together, in my opinion. Of course, he had made films before this. The Lodger is probably the most famous, the ones that he had made before here, I think. Let's go look in here. Let's look at the booklet. They have a lot of information. Because I think this is the one that started the whole... Yeah, he'd done basically The Lodger, Blackmail, Waltzes from Vienna, Rich and Strange. So yeah, this was Hitchcock hitting it out of the park, like truly hitting it out of the park for the first time, and the cast is amazing on this one. The Cowardly Assassin, is a great role, and it's just so well done. Everybody in this thing is just amazing. I could babble on about this for hours, but let's make it a tight 10 to 11 minutes and say, get this movie. Suspense, Hitchcock, the cast, Peter Lorre. I know Logan Toxic, you're a huge Peter Lorre fan. You got to have this. Pick it up. Spine, $6.43. If you don't have it in your collection, shame on you. Go out, get it now. Get it for somebody for Christmas. They'll love it. The Man Who Knew Too Much. Hitchcock at his best. Thanks for watching, guys. And for me right now, it is time for tea.